Many, many moons ago in a land far from here. I was in rehearsal for a cruise ship as a singer in the cast. We were in beautiful, scenic Inglewood, California for 5 weeks. And everything was going hunky-dory, just busting it out, learning the shit. And our production manager, he just did not like me. And to this day, now it's 3 years later, to this day, I still do not know why he really didn't like me, but that is a story for another time. We fly out to Fort Lauderdale, we get on the ship. We have 11 days to install the 4 shows that we're doing. And by the time we got on the ship, like, my relationship with Homeboy was better. Like, we were having a laugh, we were like joshing around. Cut to our very, very last show that we installed. And everybody's in high spirits, hip hop hooray, we're done with the install. And he comes to our second show, drunk as a skunk, front row center in all his glory, bless his sweetheart. And at one point in the show, I'm doing a duet of The Rose, and I'm like in this beautiful gown, it's a very dramatic moment, and I get down stage and I look down and he's conducting me from his seat to keep in time with the music, and I was like, that's weird. Ha, I guess. You're drunk, that makes me giggle, bye. Backstage after the show, like, we'd all been joshing around talking about like, oh, you know, so-and-so lost her hat, so-and-so like slipped on da-da-da, oh, giggles, giggles, gizzle. Gizzles? Not a word. Giggles. And I mentioned, I was like, yeah, and this bitch over here was conducting me during the Rose. Ah! Laugh away, don't think another thing of it, bye. Ugh, clearly my downfall. So we're all in the bar later, and he like wobbles his ass up to me and he's like, we need to talk. We need to talk right now. And I was like, okay. Keep in mind, he's still technically my like superior officer, shall we call him. So like I can't really say no, even though it was massively out of protocol, but hashtag whatever. So we go outside of the bar door and like people see us and they're like, what's going on here? And he's like, you need to know that like you're not allowed to disrespect someone like that. How dare you talk to me like that? And I was like, I really don't know what you're talking about, so you're gonna need to fill a sister in. And he mentioned, he's like, how dare you call me a bitch in front of the rest of the cast? And I was like, oh, really though? So I had to stand there half dazed myself and explain that like, I wasn't calling you a bitch, but it was like, this bitch, that bitch, blah. Wait, what? Hold on. But I felt really bad. Like, I don't want to offend anybody. So I told him, I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. How dare I apologize for my mistakes? Fool that I am. He, unbeknownst to me, and writes this like long protracted letter to the company, the entertainment company, saying that I am a caustic presence in the cast, that I'm like undermining other people's authority, including the cast manager who got the job over me, and I'm like causing drama in the cast and everybody hates me and everybody's scared of me and blah, blah, blah. Didn't find out about any of this until like a solid month later, but c'est la vie. I get called to the cruise director's office at like 7:30 in the evening, which is a very weird time to be called anywhere, and I'm like, question mark? I open the door and there's the cruise director, the head of security, the first mate, the staff captain, like 7 or 8 people of a very high rank on the ship, just like chilling in the office staring at me, dead silence. So I sit down and he's like, we've decided to remove you from your contractual obligations, blah, 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 said something else. And I was like, you don't know who, what? And nobody in the room would tell me why I had been fired. Not one single word about the actual reasoning. I got the head of the artistic company on the phone. He wouldn't tell me because it was classified information. I was like, what is this, the FBI? But what? Pack your bags. You have to stay in your cabin tonight. You cannot drink any alcohol. You cannot leave your cabin. If you need anything, you have to call your company manager and she'll get it for you. Like, I was this close to having a freaking escort posted at my cabin door to make sure I like complied. Again, clearly I killed someone because like, why would you go through all this trouble? And I was kicked off the ship the next day in Fort Lauderdale. P.S. 4 days before Christmas. 4 days before Christmas, I am standing on the dock in Fort Lauderdale, sobbing my face off, wondering what the is going on. And then I get flown home to Tahoe, where my family was for Christmas, and none of my luggage arrives. Just rub some lemon juice in that paper cut. Why don't you? However, after this whole situation went down, I, being the person that I am, fought it tooth and nail and was like, can somebody please let me know what the hell was going on? What's all this about? People wrote me letters. People came out of the woodwork who I barely even knew, who were like, this is utter BS. Let me help you in any way I can. The conclusion of which was the company that fired me went under, lost all of their cruise ship contracts, is no longer even a thing. And I ended up getting hired 4 months later by their competitor company for better wages, a better itinerary, and a better life. So the moral of the story is... but we're not bitter at all. No, the moral of this story is you cannot keep a Linberg down for long. Especially when she has access to good friends and halfway decent wine.